Now the second question, I mean that guy raised a lot of questions, and one of the questions he raised was, are the people who are migrating from India, they come from a rich background? Now, I would say that most of the people who are migrating from India, they belong to middle class to upper middle class families. But the problem is they are middle class to upper middle class in the Indian societal context. And I mean, if the Aussies were to, or say Americans or the British were to move to India, I mean, they would be in the same boat as those people are, as long as both of them get paid in Indian rupees. And actually, the thing is, migrating to another country is not cheap. You need to have a lot of money in your bank account to show the government that we have got this much money. Because especially a lot of Indians migrate to other countries as students. They finish their courses in the other countries and then subsequently become permanent residents in those countries, then progressing to citizenship. But to go to another country as a student, you need to have a lot of money in your bank account. Now, if you're showing that much money in the bank account, the kind of money that the Indian students, or for that matter, students from any third world country have to show in their bank accounts, well, you have to be rich to show that kind of money. And it's not just that kind of money that they have to show. When you move over to another country, it takes anything between 3 to 6 months before you actually start making money. And if you're a student, for 9 months to 1 year, you are actually getting more money back from your own motherland, like India or Philippines or Korea or Thailand or China. You're bringing more money into the economy just because you have to survive, because you don't have enough money, you're not generating enough income over here to survive. If you can get that much money from your country, that just means that you come from a good family. And the thing is, considering, let's take the example of Aussie dollar and Indian rupee. 40 Indian rupees make 1 Aussie dollar. That's how much difference is in the Indian currency and Aussie currency, and of course other Western currencies and other third world countries currencies. So you need to understand that the people who are migrating, they are migrating from good families. Now, like, there are people who are in good jobs as well. Like, I myself was a teacher in a government school with a permanent job and retirement benefits and everything when I moved over to Australia. And when I moved over to Australia, I had nothing. I mean, I did bring some money with me, but I had no job, nothing, no home, and nothing to call my own. So the thing is that even the people who seem to be illiterate and poor, who have migrated to Australia or to other countries, they are not they may be less educated, but they are not poor. They are not poor because they are the people who are coming from villages, people who are farmers, people who own lands, vast tracts of lands. And it's because by the virtue of those lands that they are coming here, because they're selling their land to show the money in their bank accounts. They are selling their property to show the money. They have got landed property. And it's not when I explained this thing to that guy, he said that, why do you want to leave India? Why would you like to leave India if you are that if you are rich or anything like that rich or that well off? Why would you like to leave India? The question is not about whether India is good or bad, or whether any other developing country is good or bad. The problem is, are you happy with your situation in that country? Now, a lot of people who are migrants immigrating from India are coming from the farming background. And who doesn't know this state of farmers, especially in Australia and other Western countries? Farming does not generate income. People who are into farming, they are fed up of farming because the crops are failing every year. There are problems of droughts, there are problems of floods and all that. It's become so hard to do farming. They want to get rid of farming. But because in developing countries, education is a big thing, everybody cannot get a decent job. There are big populations and education is really big. Because of big populations and the education being really big means everybody does not have the same opportunity to get a good job. So that's why the problem is that they don't have enough opportunities to leave what they are doing. say they are doing farming, they cannot quit farming because they don't have any other opportunity. So the only other alternative left is to migrate to another country. For myself, I migrated because I wanted to do something different. I had a job, I had no issues, but I wanted to improve. I wanted to do something bigger. Well, whether or not I've done that, well, that's for anyone to know. But that's the reason. I mean, like, people migrate because they want to change this situation, because they're not happy with the current situation. And the root cause of that unhappiness lies again in the imperial histories of those countries. Another question, well, it wasn't a question, it was actually, I'm saying these were questions, but actually these were more of like nasty comments. But one of the comments he made was, $3 can feed a whole family in India. I said, nah, India is not that cheap. And then he said that, okay, maybe one meal. I said, nah, you're still wrong. And then I gave him the example. One foot-long subway in Australia costs more than $7. And in India, one subway costs more than 100 rupees. So that's how tough it is. I mean, considering that most of the people, a lot of people who are working in private sector hardly get 5 grand. 100 rupees out of 5 grand is a big sum of money. So India is not that cheap as well, and so on, and so ain't other countries as well. But that's how I would explain the contemporary aspects of imperialism, and why imperialism is bad and why we need to stop it. Thanks for watching, friends.